Life, culture and current events from a biblical perspective. 2020 with Neil Johnson on Vision.
Well, Senator Matt O'Sullivan, it's wonderful to talk to you.
Thanks, Phil. Good to be with you.
And here we are at the prayer breakfast, the National Prayer Breakfast in the Great Hall in Parliament House. You're the co-chair or the co-convener of the National or the Parliamentary Christian Fellowship. What draws you towards that role in this place?
Well, it's a great honour, I've got to say, and what an amazing morning we've had this morning, hearing from Peter Gibb, who shared his story, his testimony of how Christ turned his life around, and as someone that was even suicidal, who has now, by finding Christ, has gone on to address some big issues, and has led a program called iProud across New South Wales, which is getting Indigenous people into the police force, and those sort of stories are, of course, very inspiring. It's humbling to hear them, and so to be able to be part of something that helps convene that and bring that to Parliament in a place that's seen as very adversarial, to be able to have a moment like we've had this morning, and we have the church services which open every Parliament at the beginning of a new term and the beginning of every year. Those sort of coming togethers are really powerful, and it's a great honour to be able to help convene it and bring it together.
So, adversarial is the word you use to describe this place. It is a bit of a cutthroat business and politics. You've come from a diverse background in both business and also pastoral ministry.
Yeah.
What's it like really here?
Look, it's obviously the televisions and the newspapers and the radio presents all the colourful bits, question time and other things. It's actually far more collegiate,
right?
Even across party lines than what you'd believe or what you're seeing. And there's a huge amount of cooperation. There's a huge amount of goodwill. And I would say, even though we come from very different political perspectives, our beliefs and what we think would be best for the country, even though there can be a difference of opinion and belief there's one thing I am absolutely confident of, is that every single member of Parliament comes into this place with a real commitment to serve their nation. I mean, there's better jobs that you can get, like they won't take you away from your family.
Because you spend a lot of time here.
Look, I'm from Western Australia, and so it's a long flight and it's a long way, and it makes it difficult to even just pop back for the weekend in between sitting weeks, that sort of thing. That adds to a challenge. If you're in Sydney, you're just a couple hour drive and you're home, right? No one twisted my arm to do it. I'm voluntary, but my family are conscripts to it, and so those sort of pressures are there. But it's a great honour, it's a great privilege.
It's wonderful to see so many people here at the prayer breakfast. Prayer is a contentious subject for some when it relates to politics and the business of government. There are some people that at best might say, well, it's irrelevant, it's dated, it's had its time. There are others who would be quite opposed. How does that all work together? How do you see the importance of upholding things like this and the opening of Parliament with prayer and so on?
Well, look, I mean, obviously as a Christian, I very much believe in the value of prayer, and that prayer really does change things, and I've seen it very much personally in my own life, my family's life, and indeed I've seen it across the country. So I'll always be a defender of it. Sometimes there's moves to take away the Lord's Prayer, which is prayed at the beginning of every session of Parliament of every day, and so in about an hour's time we'll be in the chamber, and that's what we'll be doing. We'll be opening with the Lord's Prayer, and from time to time there's people that call for that to finish or to not occur. I think we'd be much poorer as a nation for it. I mean, to me it's a time to reflect, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a person of any faith or none. That moment to be able to sit back and reflect on the role that we have as parliamentarians, which is to serve, that we're not here for ourselves, that we're here for a much bigger purpose, and whether you believe that purpose has been given to you by God or whether you don't, I think prayer is a time, it's a moment where you can reflect and you can humble yourself and put yourself in a position where, you're ready to serve and you're ready to give your best.
What about you personally? What would people not know about Senator Matt O'Sullivan?
Oh, I'm a bit of an open book, really. I don't know if there's much, depending on looks online.
What do you like to do? Well, if you happen to have some
I tell you what I love doing, and I'm looking forward to a holiday in a few weeks' time after Christmas. We've got a caravan, and so we hitch it up and we explore different parts of Western Australia, and we'll be down in the southwest over for a few weeks over Christmas, and I love that. I really do love getting out and about and out into the country. It's particularly getting into the southwest, where you've got the big tall karri forests and the beaches, and it's like my cathedral, it's where it's a busy life, and just getting away. And in Busselton, where we're staying, it's right on the beach. We're going to, I get up early and I go for a walk on the beach, and I pray and I consider my year that's coming ahead, and just commit it to God, and it's a real sort of centering moment. And so, look, I just love getting outside. I love it very much.
If you want to pray a long prayer, you could go to the end of the pier.
That's it. Yeah, no, indeed.
What would you say is some of the biggest challenges that face Australia at the moment, and how ought Christians be responding to those?
Look, we keep talking about diversity and tolerance. Now, that's sort of preached back to everyone all of the time. But unfortunately, I think what we're seeing is actually an intolerance to anyone that holds any traditional values, traditional beliefs. Particularly, Christians are probably persecuted more, maybe not as much as they were in the early part of the very early centuries, but certainly. So we're not getting the same physical persecution, and certainly in other parts of the world they are. But I think in terms of thought and in terms of freedom to be able to express your views and your values, and even being associated with others that share traditional biblical beliefs, and I think I'm really worried about that. I think there's become an intolerance that will be much poorer as a nation if we allow that to continue. I mean, with there's great responsibility that comes with your beliefs and your values, and I don't see my role as a role to proselytise and to preach, but I do want to stand up for and stand up for people that want to, if they've got a religious belief, if they've got a belief that's steeped in their own personal identity and what they believe and who they are as a Christian or as a Muslim or as a Buddhist or whoever they are, or as a non-Christian at all, they should be able to express those views, and they should be able to not be persecuted or in any way discriminated against. And I fear that we are becoming a little more intolerant as a society, and I think we've got to address that.
How ought believers respond to that, do you think?
Sorry?
How should believers respond to that?
Well, I think they should. They shouldn't shy away. I think they should step up. Christians in particular, we tend to. We're peacemakers in a sense. We like to. But I think there does need to be a rising up and a speaking up. So I think people should write to the Member of Parliament and say that religious freedom is important. Protection against discrimination is important to them, and why, and remind those members of Parliament that they vote and that they want their Member of Parliament to protect them. So I think if people can stand up more and speak out a bit more, by whether that's a phone call or an email or a letter. Letters are always good. People use email and you get swamped with them. Whenever I get a hard copy letter, and I'm a digital guy, right? Everything's digital for me.
Stands out.
But when I get a hard copy letter with an actual signature, not just a digital print, I do take a bit more notice. So maybe lots of them.
Yeah. Good advice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Maybe we'll see you around a caravan park somewhere.
Yeah, terrific. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.